God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Every stronghold will crumble, and I hear the chains hit the ground. Oh God of revival, pour it out. Come awaken your people. Come awaken this city. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. Every stronghold will crumble, and I hear the chains hit the ground. Oh God of revival, pour it out, pour it out. The darkest night, you can light it up, you can light it up. Oh God of revival, let hope arise, and death is overcome. Yeah. You've already won, oh God of revival. Oh, the darkest night, you can light it up, you can light it up. Oh God of revival, let hope arise, and death is overcome. You've already won, oh God of revival. God of revival, yeah. God of revival, you're the God of revival, yeah. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, oh, we live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every. Oh, we live for you. For you are holy. There is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder, and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart, and lead me in your love to those around me. Oh, yeah. You're worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, oh, we live for you. Oh, Jesus, Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. So worthy, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you, oh, we live for you, God. 'Cause you are salvation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken, and I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. And holy, there is no one like you, there is none beside you. And open up my eyes in one. With your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. And holy, there is no one like you. There in a wonder, show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me, and show me and show me and show me. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me.
Hi, my name is Alicia Walner, and I am a senior nursing student graduating in May. Under normal circumstances, this would be taking place in chapel, but for now, I come to you from my friend's back porch in Texas. My hope is that my story will bring a fond recollection of some of the memories we've had up to this point, but also a hope for the normality that will ensue once the dust settles and everything returns back to normal. Miley's story began when I arrived in America from Indonesia, a country where I spent the latter half of my growing up years due to my parents' occupation. Like most freshmen, I was excited and hopeful for all that was to come, but also a little bit nervous and a little bit jet-lagged. It didn't take long for me to figure out that the translation between Indonesian and American culture was going to take some time to figure out. I was probably a little bit awkward with my very bright Indonesian attire, having no idea what chacos or Southern Style t-shirts were, and most pop culture references just going right over my head. But people were patient and forgiving as I learned how to assimilate. During that process, though, I looked in a lot of different places to find my identity. This ended up leading me to a lot of different groups, a little bit out of my comfort zone, but also bringing me some of the best community I've ever had, such as Kairos, Residential Life and Housing in Nora and Simmons, Mock Trial, and Nitwits, and a bunch of other fun groups. They brought me good memories and good friends, but ultimately it didn't satiate that desire I had to define myself using my surroundings or similarities in the people around me. As my major got more demanding, I began to focus more of my time into nursing and poured everything I had into my work and clinicals and the people around me. I hoped that maybe I would find my identity in the very typical mold of a nurse. However, just like the other groups, I did find that I was also not super duper similar to the people there. This made me question my personality, if my experiences had permanently affected how I was to relate to other human beings, or if maybe I was searching for my major in the wrong institution. But as I went further and deeper into my time in the nursing program, I began to notice that it wasn't just me, and that actually everyone within my program was incredibly different as well. I was shocked at the amount of individuals that were all pursuing the same thing that were so incredibly different. It was an incredibly unique hodgepodge group of people all striving to become nurses. This made me nervous at first because it felt unfamiliar and it felt like there weren't a lot of similarities to grab onto. However, as we went into our clinical setting and I got to see these people working in hospitals, I was truly amazed at what the diversity ended up meaning. The quieter personalities that seldomly spoke up in class, I learned were the best listeners and brought a gentleness and an attentiveness that I had never seen, offering peace wherever they went. For these people, I think of my friends Kelly and Bryn. There were the louder personalities that were passionate and opinionated and strong. These people showed me what it meant to be a rock for someone when they have no strength left to stand, and to fight for someone when they no longer have the ability to fight for themselves. For these people, I think of my friends Nikki and Anna. My dearest friends, Emma and Madeline, they ended up showing me what it meant to meet someone where they're at and to accept someone fully in all that they are. The good, the bad, and the ugly, through literally blood, sweat, and tears. I'm forever grateful for the friendships that they offered me. What once was a little bit intimidating, the diversity of people, wondering if that was correct or if we should all be more uniformed, ended up showing me that diversity is a beautiful thing and that it takes every single person and all their strengths and weaknesses to come into the healthcare field and make it run smoothly in all the ways that we know Jesus to give us. I know that that extends to the institution as well. The diversity that I saw in my fellow nursing students, I ended up getting to see in the whole student body, and I feel very privileged to have gone to a university that identifies those strengths and weaknesses and differences in us and chooses to invest in them and grow them to be what they are. My Lee experience was filled with incredible memories and incredible friendships, times that I will cherish fondly for the rest of my life. But it also was filled with learning that I could find my identity in the strengths and weaknesses that the Lord has given me, and to be proud of those and embrace them because they are necessary to be a good friend, to learn more about who I am, and then also as I pursue my future occupation as a nurse. I feel so incredibly privileged to have gone here, as my story was really pivotal in learning who I was and all that can be when honoring all that the Lord has given. My hope is that everyone has similar experiences and has similar cherished memories, and that they are also able to fully embrace all that they've been given and their differences as they too pursue their careers. So thank you, Lee University, for giving me this really sweet time.
Good morning, Lee family. I hope all is well. It's an honor to share my journey at Lee with you. As some may know, I'm a fifth-year senior. Even though it has been different, it has proven beneficial. But before I talk about the end, let's start at the beginning of my Lee experience. Lee was not my first choice. You see, I'm a track athlete, and like most athletes, my twin brother Josiah and I wanted to go Division I. So my parents sent out letters to Georgia Tech, South Carolina, and others. But we decided to go wherever God wanted, no matter the school size. Being a part of the Church of God denomination, we had always heard about Lee. But I never thought I would want this place to be my university. That's what my dad wanted. But once I stepped on this campus and walked around, I knew this was it. For Josiah, it took some convincing, since he wanted to be a football star. But with prayer and family support, we chose Lee to be our home. I've had a ton of experiences here when it comes to track, crew, the gathering, and floor leading. When I was a sophomore, I became a co-floor leader with Josiah. I was so excited to do this with him. We were ready to do life and share the gospel with the guys, but I was not prepared for what would come our way. There were questions about God, and different beliefs were hitting me in the face, one after another. And it stressed me out. And it made me even question my faith. I thought, if I doubted, I didn't trust God. So I tried to push these doubts down, but I couldn't. This was also a time I was in theology class, and everything about what I believed had been shaken to its core. But God revealed to me answer after answer. One experience of floor leading changed me. Some of the guys on the floor were talking poorly about some of the women on campus, and it broke my heart. And God kept pulling on my heart and mind about it. I was afraid of what the guys would say or think about me. And me being the good brother, I brought it to Josiah and told him to talk about it. But he had the audacity to say, God put it on your heart, so you talk about it. I was devastated. But I trusted in what the Lord said and revealed to me. No matter how Thursday night small group went, I was going to obey what God has spoken to me and address the issue. In the end, I learned how to see women better. And I found my voice to speak out against the enemy's schemes and plans. I learned how to see God in all I do, even though it can be difficult. I couldn't just believe everything I heard from the stage or a small group. Yes, I did do devotions. I started questioning God and sought out the answers, and it has made my faith stronger. Most of my time at Lee has been focused on individual growth so that I could better engage with the outside world. I am an introvert, and Josiah an extrovert. Before and during my freshman year, I didn't know that. So I thought I was weird and had to be more like Josiah to gain friends. It was frustrating. With all these feelings and thoughts inside of me that I had stuffed down for so long, I pushed myself into isolation and began to focus on school. And I felt alone. I thought no one cared no matter what they told me or how many people I hung out with. I felt like I accepted and embraced them, but it seemed like they were busy trying to get Josiah's approval. I felt insignificant. I'm sure I was depressed and interpreted my isolation as me time. These were times I would seek the Lord because I had nothing else to do. I was silently crying in anger to God. Why am I so different? Of course, God said, I made you this way. That wasn't good enough. Then one day, God gave me a phrase, I'm great. And he told me to say it to everyone who asked, how are you? I was like, what? Why? It's a lie. He said, trust me. And so I did. I said it over and over until finally he revealed that it was never to tell others I was great, but it was to tell myself I was great. It turned me into this positive person who always saw the good in things. Yes, life has good and bad, but I choose to focus on the good. My positive attitude would annoy my teammates, but everything was still great. Lastly, my 5th year of college was rough. I had financial issues because my 4 years of eligibility had ended. I was worried I wouldn't pass logic and sets. This was my 2nd time taking this class. There was a class that was offered every 2 years, and I had failed 1 year away from graduation. I had to get this credit. Josiah had graduated, and I felt the pressure to do the same. I had recently joined a track club to continue in my career. I needed money to pay bills and take care of my transportation. All these things flooded my heart and head daily. How was I going to do this? I should drop out. Great people made it without college degrees. All these things have crowded my thoughts. But even though many have given me hope and strength, there's one person who inspired and pushed me to keep going. My fiancée, Marissa Villafuerte. Yes, I met her here at Lee. She endured sickness, injury, heartache, loss. The odds were stacked against her. But she never stopped. She never gave up. Even with a severe back injury and a 1.5 years of physical therapy, she pushed through the pain and stress. I saw it all, and that's why I fight. I will succeed, and in the end, I will walk across the stage and receive my diploma. Lee will always hold a special place in my heart, because this is where I grew in my faith. I discovered myself, and I found my soulmate. God bless, and thank you.
Hello, my name is Catherine Riggs. First of all, I want to say thank you to Dr. Khan and the cabinet for this opportunity to share my story. For a long time, I was not proud of every moment of my Lee journey, but I can sit here today and tell you every moment was worth it. Lee has been a part of my heritage for many years. My grandfather attended in the 60s and my father in the 80s. They both had a wonderful experience that had an impact on their life that I heard about from a young age. My Lee journey began long before I became an official student. When I was 11 years old, I can vividly remember sitting in the den with my family and deciding as a group that my father was going to sign a contract to join the Lee University faculty. This meant that my family would have to move to Tennessee from Alabama. From the very first day, I felt as if I had left one family to become a part of another. Lee welcomed not just my father, but my whole family with open arms. When it came time for me to choose where I would attend college, Lee was my first and only choice. I packed my things and I moved across town to live in Sharp Davis with a roommate I had met online. My freshman experience was full of growth and challenges. I began to learn who I was, and my faith began to develop into my own intimate relationship with God. I chose psychology as a major. I knew that I loved to study how the mind worked and how individuals interacted, and I had a heart to one day work with adolescents. While I was a student, I had the opportunity to be a part of 2 clubs at Lee, Sigma Nu Sigma and Upsilon Xi. I had the honor to hold a position in each of these clubs, and it was an honor to share the same clubs as my father and continue that legacy. I learned many lessons in each of these clubs that have impacted my life daily. I was having the time of my life and enjoying everything Lee had to offer. To the outside person, it may have seemed that I had it all together. I chose social activities over academics, which caused me to have poor grades in many of my classes. Because I was too prideful to ask for help, I let these bad grades define who I was as a person. Because of this, I had to watch all of my friends graduate on time, and once again, I saw myself as incapable and unsuccessful. And this sent me down a bad path of truly believing I was not ever going to achieve my dreams. In January of 2017, my life changed drastically. A tough conversation was had with my parents in our living room, and we decided as a family it would be best if I took a semester off school. For many weeks, I felt angry and frustrated, and I felt as if I had failed my family and myself. This semester off school was full of growth, pain, and new opportunities. In February, I decided it was time for a change. One of my favorite scriptures I learned throughout my time in Sigma became relevant. Philippians 3:13 says, "Brothers, I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining towards what is ahead. I press on towards the goal to win the prize for which God has called me to." This scripture became my motto. I was not going to let these past mistakes define my story. I began to get involved in a local church and had the opportunity to preach 2 sermons that semester. This time spent focusing on my relationship with the Lord and deciding to push on to the calling He had placed on my life was the turning point in my story. I applied to Lee and I was reaccepted. I started classes in May and I took my first class with Dr. Fisher. He knew my previous mistakes and was well aware of my failures, but treated me as if that was not a part of my story. He believed in me, and that was evident in how he treated me. I passed that semester with an A, and my faith began to grow in my academic abilities. That fall, I took a full load of classes. I met with Dr. Albright, who began to encourage me to apply to the school counseling graduate program. This was not something I believed I could do, but Dr. Albright believed in me. I began working on an independent research project with Dr. Poole. I spent many hours in his office talking about research, but we also spent many hours talking about life, my mistakes, and my abilities. Once again, another professor invested in me, saw my potential, and believed in me when I did not believe in myself. Dr. Poole and Dr. Albright encouraged me to apply to grad school, wrote a reference letter for me, and helped make my dreams come true. I was accepted to graduate school exactly 1 year after I had chosen not to let my past mistakes define me. Walking across that stage at graduation in May 2018 meant more than I ever thought it would. It was a promise to myself to not look back on my mistakes. It was hope that my dreams were achievable, and it was a testament of how love and encouragement from Lee faculty and my family had supported me to achieve a degree. I immediately started graduate school 3 days later. During grad school, I've had the opportunity to obtain two paid school counseling internship jobs while working on my degree. This has been possible because of the amazing faculty in the department. Dr. Ashcraft, Dr. Thomas, and Dr. Albright have pushed me and believed in me more than I once thought I deserved. I've had the opportunity to walk alongside adolescents in their worst moments and offer the same love and grace that was extended to me by Lee faculty. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says, "But he said unto me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me." A part of my story that was once defined by embarrassment and shame, I'm now proud of because it's a story through Christ that is a story of forgiveness, growth, and achievement. I'll be graduating next week with a master's in school counseling and have accepted my dream job at a local school here in Cleveland. Thank you to every faculty member in the Behavior and Social Sciences Department for walking alongside me, pushing me, and seeing what I could be academically when I was at my weakness. I want to say thank you to my husband for pushing me, helping me study, and believing in me. You stood beside me at every step of my master's. Most of all, I want to say thank you to my mom and dad. Both of my degrees have been possible because of you. Thank you for loving me despite my failures. No matter how challenging this journey has been, there was not one moment you didn't believe in me and see what I could be. Thank you for looking past the mistakes and seeing my potential. I could not ask for more supportive parents. Thank you, Lee, for giving me a place to grow, and thank you for giving me a room to fail. I'm a better student, and I'm going to be a better school counselor because of Lee University. My journey is not ending, but rather shifting into a new chapter. Lee, you will always be my home.
Thank you so much for being with us for our final chapel of the year today. And thank you for our 3 speakers who shared their hearts with us and how they've grown. Thank you, Alicia, Justin, and Catherine. We appreciate your sharing your hearts with us. I want to say a special thank you for everyone who has stayed with us in our change to the virtual chapel format. Obviously, we'd much rather be in the Conn Center with our students and our university family, but this has given us an opportunity to stay connected with you. And again, I want to say thank you. If you would, join me in saying the college benediction. And again, thanks for being with us. Now let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my Redeemer. Amen.